Hello, 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 hello. Hey, I have a very important question. This is something that has been on my heart, and my mind for a very long time. First of all, I'm Coach Anthony Lane, powered by Connect the Lane. And if you are wanting a life that lights you up, then you are really in the right place. So I started the Next You adventure because I was tired of some things that was going on in my life. Let me ask you a very simple question. Who were you before the world told you who you were supposed to be? Who were you supposed to be before the world told you who to be? Let me break this all the way down in my life. I grew up an exciting kid. I had a lot of things going on in my life to where my educators my educators that were responsible for teaching me, this bright young mind of mine, I was hyperactive, I was doing this, I was doing that. I was smart. I went from something we had a pre-K, pre-kindergarten. I'm not sure if they still have that or not. And so I skipped kindergarten, went off into the first grade. And when I did that, the teachers, I don't know what they were expecting, but I was still a kid, and they were like, "Hey, put this kid on Ritalin, put this kid on Adderall, put this kid on something." My mom tried it, and I was a zombie, a complete zombie. And next thing you know, they put me in special education. I was in special education from first grade all the way through 12th grade. Did I need to be there? No. Did I want to be there? No. But I got used to being there because I just got passed along. But what happened, something very strange happened. I went from high school, I enrolled myself into college, and next thing you know, I didn't need any help. I didn't need any drugs. I didn't need anything. I was getting A's and B's in college. They were suppressing whatever, for whatever reason, a kid, me as a kid. Fast forward, I joined the military. So all of that time that I was in school, high school, grade school, middle school, they were telling me that um, you're a slow learner, you're not a good test taker, you're this, nothing positive about my educational skills that I had. You need this, blah, blah, blah. And I carried that on into the military. And by me carrying that into the military, um, I thought that I wasn't a good test taker. And so right before the test, I had anxiety, and to the point to where as soon as it was in military in the Navy, we took for my advancement exams. I took it was at that time 2.5, 3 hour, maybe 200 questions, and I had to remember everything for my particular job. We call it a rating. And when they said your time begins now, I stood up and I usually walked out, went to the restroom, washed my face, calmed down, came back, took the test, and I was always, 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 always the last person there. Always. You have 2 minutes remaining, and here I am. I have 50 questions remaining because I had that in my head that I was not a good test taker. I have had so many people that I have coached and talked to and walked with, and they told me they were told the exact same thing, only to find out later that they were very good test takers. Very good test takers. When we allow people to suppress our light, to dim our light, just squish down who we really are on the inside and outside, then guess what? That is one of the hardest things to really overcome. Not just the teachers also told my parents that your son is not a good test taker. He's going to need this. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. And so they were just rebuttaling. They were just giving back to me what was given to them by the educators, the professionals. And when that happened, I was like, wow, this is not cool at all. So fast forward again. I passed my test. I got a good grade in the military, but I wasn't promoted. I had to study twice as hard. And then when I studied twice as hard, I still wasn't promoted. Then I still wasn't promoted. On the fourth time, I was actually promoted. And then that was all the way up to my last exam when I became a chief petty officer. And I'm telling you this because I carried those little bitty things on the inside of me for an extremely long time. So, who were you supposed to be before the world told you who you needed to be? Who were you? Were you this bright and bubbly person and they told you to calm down because you're just too energetic and you just think you know it all and you're whatever other thing that they're coming up with? No, you weren't any of those things. You were just trying to live your best life with some of the examples, some great examples, some poor examples that were all around you. My son um, just graduated from the University of Chicago with his doctorate degree, African American young man from the University of Chicago. And some of his professors, some of those elite professors, told my son from this first year all the way until he graduated, why are you here? You need to go do something else. You shouldn't be here. And every single time he told them, I am where I'm supposed to be. I am where I am supposed to be. Why are you asking me that question? Let me ask you this question. Why do we feel that it's necessary when we have a little bit of insecurity in us as human beings to ask questions as if that individual cannot do it? Because we cannot do it, because I cannot do it, because those professors cannot do it, then we put that off on someone else. They put it off on my son, for instance. So ask yourself a whole lot of questions. But you are here. You're trying to figure out who you are. And there's nothing wrong with you at all. I had to learn the hard way that there was nothing wrong with me. I was searching for answers in places that I had no place being. Seriously. I did some things in my life. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the answer. Before I got married, I was searching for love, and had no idea that love was already right there with me because I didn't love myself. I had a father who left me at the age of 5 because he didn't understand a lot of things that was going on in his life. But that's okay. The world told me that it was okay for a father to leave. And it doesn't matter which race, white, black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Jewish, it doesn't matter. Fathers leave, mothers leave, and if they stay, then their other circumstances do happen. But I had to do the best that was the best for me. And that's why I am on this video right now, for to help you go through the best that you're going through. I'm looking at my phone right now. And there's some things that I want to pull up. And every now and then, when I'm talking and I'm speaking, I have a lot of very good topics that I want to talk about, but sometimes I do forget them. So we are in this day and age of AI, and sometimes you know what to do with it. I was talking to a individual several years ago, and I was telling them to get a better grasp on computers. And they did not want to get a better grasp on computers. And now they're to the point to where, oh, I need to learn computers. Well, computers is great, but now the new thing is AI. Now, when I express that to individuals, I was talking to an architect the other day, and I said, I know you're very good at your job, and you're killing it. If you do not own the architecture firm, a lot of the owners of these firms and their board of directors, they are gearing towards switching this to artificial intelligence. And when I first had this conversation with him, he was like, oh no, that's not going to happen. I'm very good at what I do, but your manual labor. They can get a computer to do it just as quickly, more accurately than you. They would input all of the data into the computer and build their program. It's the same program that you're on right now. So what are you going to do then? And he started thinking about it. It's like, oh wow, maybe I do. And I go to Walmart and Target and a lot of other places. They're testing this augmented intelligence to where they're doing self checkout, and people are complaining. Well, why are you complaining? Because you don't want to do your job to begin with. We put ourselves in these situations as human beings, and then we want to blame others instead of taking a mirror and take a look at it. So I would just like for you to take the time, take the opportunity to look yourself in a mirror and just say, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Who am I? Where am I? What am I actually doing? And then wait for the answer. I remember driving home one year and I am stressed. My coaching business was slowly taking off. My real estate business was slowly taking off. And I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? What is actually going on? I was losing deals, and this went on for maybe 30 minutes to 30 to 45 minutes. I had this conversation. And I'm in my car, and I'm just start crying. And then the voice said, why are you crying? I'm just, you give me this person and you take them away, and then they don't pay, and then this, that. I just was just venting to God. Then he says, slow up, Anthony. Everything that you have, everything that you need to succeed, whether it is to be a billionaire, to be a millionaire, to be a hundredaire, whatever you want, everything is already within you. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Everything I need is already within me. Everything. And so when I sat back and I relaxed, and I was like, okay. And then he said, you remember those books that you have on your phone and on your bookshelf that you're not reading or that you have read? Yeah, they're in there. Remember all those notepads that you have that's at your desk or all over your house? It's in there. Remember all those conferences that I sent you to and you paid for thousands of dollars to go to? It's in there. Remember all those courses that you took, all those people that you spoke to, and the people that you still know today? So we are surrounded by everything that we need to succeed, but we're not using it. Have you ever you were ever hungry and you went to your refrigerator, you open it up, one door, two door, miniature refrigerator, you went to and you open it up and you're like, man, I'm sure enough hungry. Refrigerator full of food. You can't find anything to eat. Okay. You close that. Then you go looking through the cabinets. It's not in there. then you know you know you pull up your phone to find something to eat, but you don't know what you want to eat. It's the same way. The knowledge, the expertise, everything you need is already built within you already. And you have gathered that knowledge, that experience, that those expertise that you need already dwells within you. So ask yourself, before we start complaining, before you start complaining, before you bring up whatever situation, do I have the skills, the expertise to get me to where I want to go? And usually the answer will be yes. But we usually say no because we don't think about what we have gained along the way. When you first started driving a vehicle, if you drive a vehicle, if you drive a bicycle, a motorcycle, first time you started walking, if you didn't walk, first time you start talking, first time you put on a pair of glasses, first time you did anything in life, usually you were not the expert at it. There were people that were better than you at it. But over time, you became a lot better, and more proficient in what you are actually doing. And so now you're like, huh, I have this walking thing down pretty good. I have this talking thing down pretty good. I may stutter over my words here and there, but yet I know that I can talk, I can walk, I can speak, I can feed myself. I can blow my own nose. I can go to the restroom by myself. So why, when it comes to something that you really want, that you limit yourself? Right now, if you're hungry, you know several places that if you don't have any money, that you can go in your home to cook. Well, I don't have any food. Well, if you have flour, it has rice, beans, potatoes, you have something in your house. If not, then there's people that forage for food every single day. A pack of seeds for carrots, lettuce, whatever, is 50 cents, 60 cents, depending on where your location, where you live. Put the seeds down in some dirt, water it every single day, or whatever the watering instructions are, and now you have food. But we don't want to go through that work to get it. We want that instant. We want to put it in the microwave and have it delivered to us right now. Well, that instant gratification is not always good for us or good to us. If you see people that are living in poverty and then they win several $1 million or $700,000 within a certain time frame, all of that money is gone because they got it so instantly. Then they just spend it all instantly. They waste it. So what are you going to do? You have that knowledge, you have the experience, you have the expertise, but we keep telling ourselves that you don't have it. I'm not here to convince you. This is something that you really have to believe in yourself, that you have exactly what you need, exactly what you want. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and you got it. Look in your refrigerator, you have the food. Look in your cabinets, you have food. Get creative and learn how to make a different dish instead of the same dish every single time. Get creative on how to make money, on how to learn. For me, I had that ingrained in my brain that I wasn't a good test taker. So I had to reteach myself to be a great test taker, to relax, to calm down, to take a step back. And that also happened with my studying, with how I applied the information. For a very long time, I told people that, I don't know about getting in front of the camera and getting on YouTube or anything else. But when I started doing it, I started to become a lot more proficient at exactly what I wanted to do. So, what are you going to do to become proficient at what you actually want to do? I just had a conversation with a young lady, and we were talking about YouTube. Then we stopped talking about YouTube, and then we just started talking about just growth on who we are and who we actually want to be. Now, I know that right now I'm talking about a lot of different things, but everything comes together. Everything is coming together because we're all connected. Believe it or not, we're connected in one way or another. You have that greatness that is within you. When you start believing in yourself, it's up to you. I didn't believe that at first because I allowed other people to suppress my light, to dim who I actually was and who I actually am. That's why I built this Next You program, because I want you to reset who you are, reset your thinking process, reset your movement, reset those things about you. The foundation that you have already, there is nothing wrong with the foundation that you already have. But when you start taking the foundation and start that you have already and you start building on it, first of all, the foundation you have doesn't have any cracks, but it is dirty. So you take whatever you use to clean up, you clean off your foundation, make sure there's no extra debris. Because when you, let's say I'm building something on my hand and I have my glasses on my hand. When I go to set something on top of it, it's not a solid foundation. It can be something very small. But as soon as I take the glasses off and I set it on there, then it's a better seal. Versus if I set it on there, you see there's still a little gap in there that makes the foundation a little shaky. So the foundation that you have, the training that you have, your parents, your guardians, whoever raised you, even if you raised yourself, you still had that guidance from other places. Take that foundation that you have, clean it off very good because there's nothing wrong with the foundation. Then, if you need to add more support structure around that foundation, then you do it because what you're building is going to be even better than what you are right now. That's something that I had to do for myself. My mom gave me a great foundation. My dad gave me a great foundation. The people that I grew up gave me a great foundation. But that foundation only allowed me to build a two-story building. So I had to take the foundation that they gave me, clean it off, keep the things that were important, like my values and caring and sharing. No, this is not a Barney commercial or anything else like that. But I took those things that were near and dear to me that really molded me, that got me through my 22 years in the military and traveled the world and seen so many and met so many great people around the world. I kept those things that were I can use. The things that I couldn't use, I still have them. They're just in a duffel bag somewhere else. And I don't need them right now. When I need them, I will recall them and bring them up. And so then I started building those classes that I told you about, those conferences that I went to, those books that I read, those individuals that I spoke with. I borrowed a little bit from each and every single one of them. And you are doing the same thing, whether you use it or not. You already have it within you. The program that we're going to talk about on a daily basis, you're resetting yourself. You're resetting who you are, resetting what you're doing. Then you're going to start rebuilding. You're in the rebuilding phase. I no longer want to live like this. So what do I need to do? Your life is not my life. My life is not your life. So what are you going to do? And when you start rebuilding, then the next thing you're going to do is start rising. You're building to rise. The next year is all about you. You're going to reset, rebuild, you're going to rise. Then what's next? You're going to refine. You're going to keep redoing the process over and over and over again for who you are and who you want to be. My journey is not over, not one bit. My journey is not over. But my thing is, I'm just going to continue to do what I need to do to get better and continue to deliver the value that I have that is within me. I know what I'm called to do. I'm not called to do stocks. I'm not called to do crypto. I'll do it, but I'm not called to teach someone on that. So you're called to do something. You already know what it is, but you just keep telling yourself, no, that's not for me. That's not for me. That's not for me. You have it. I want you to take some time and just talk to yourself. What are you going to do? What's next for me? This next phase of my life, how do I want to structure it? How? How I'm going to reset, rebuild, refine, and rise. That I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to support you through your journey. Until next time, I'm Coach Anthony Lane, powered by Connecting Lane. And if you found this message valuable to you and you don't want to leave a comment, just give me an emoji to let me know that you're here. Just a simple emoji. If you don't want to like the video, because I found that my YouTube channel, I use that as my saved. So when I can just go back and quick reference something. So I don't like every video that I see. So I put an emoji or I make a comment. So if you are somewhat like me, you don't want to like, this in the comments, leave me an emoji on what you have a question for. Again, I'm Coach Anthony Lane with Connecting Lane. If you're ready to connect and make that change for your life on who you really want to be, I'm here for that walk on your journey, on your agenda to help you become the person that you want to be. I don't discriminate. I work with men, women, straight, gay, lesbian. I want you to know who you really are as the individual that you are. Once again, I love talking to you. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.